Glory Footwear, and this is our final presentation for the business strategy game. My name is Kelsey Bagwell, and I will be presenting the creative components. This is our company's logo, which was generated using a logo creation tool on squarespace.com. Glory is a word that is associated with honor and pride. Those seeking glory are seeking great renown, to be known as great. These are all emotions that we wish to be associated with our company. The ad slogan, "Go for your gold," is one that we believe has the ability to connect with our customers on a personal level. Gold is recognized as a standard of excellence all over the world. In competition, a gold medal is the peak of achievement. For customers using our athletic footwear, we want to help them achieve their gold standard, whether it is starting a walking regimen for the first time, making the basketball team, or hitting a new personal marathon record. The phrase is bold and uses alliteration by the repeating G sounds to be easily memorable and catchy. Gold can also bring to mind a goal that is to be achieved. Our logo is a simplified version of a gold medal. This symbol is easily recognizable, especially in the world of competition and athletics. It matches our slogan as well as the feelings invoked by the word glory. The clean lines also match our company's strategy of eliminating unnecessary costs. All of these elements also coincide with our consistent use of celebrity endorsers to promote our brand. Celebrities in entertainment and sports have reached a gold standard in their field. We chose black to complement gold because of their contrast. Our name and slogan are bold ideas, and we want the image associated with those ideas to be bold as well. The colors and simple bold design means our logo can be successfully used in a variety of mediums. These images were also generated by Squarespace along with the logo itself. Our vision is to become the industry's leading low-cost provider of athletic footwear. We cut costs so our customers don't have to. Our gold standard is being the industry leader in cost savings. We cut costs in innovative ways so that our customers can go for their gold without sacrificing on the equipment that can get them there. In order to fulfill our vision of being the industry leader in cost savings, our mission is to become the lowest cost option for our customers. We continually innovate on cost-saving areas such as plant upgrades and best practices training in order to transfer those savings to our customers. We cut costs by eliminating unnecessary elements and continuously innovating our manufacturing processes. We recognize that there is no glory to be had in unethical practices, so we have the following code of ethics to keep our company going for the gold in a safe and honorable way. Firstly, we vow to abide by all applicable laws in all areas of operation. We will treat our workers with the respect and dignity that they deserve, providing a fair wage for the industry that we are in the region that our workers live in. We will keep accurate and timely records that are subject to regular external audits to keep ourselves accountable. We will respect the privacy of our customers that provide us with their personal information, especially when buying online. We will take appropriate security measures to protect their privacy and information. We also create safe avenues for employees to report abuses without fear of negative repercussions. We want to enable our whistleblowers so that they can better the company, not live in an environment of fear.
My name is Andrew Beisel. I will be discussing our SWOT analysis, value chain analysis, and our core competencies as well as Porter's 5 forces. So here's our SWOT analysis. First, let's start with strengths. One strength was our price. It was lowest for the most of the game. Our private label early on was really well. We successfully bid some low prices and were able to make profits, but that kind of fizzled out later on. Our pairs sold, just our general models, we put them down to 100 just so that we weren't very diverse, because we tried to do the opposite of diversification. So cost leader basically. Another strength is our celebrity endorsements and appeal. We ended up getting 2 different celebrities, and we're able to have them be popular in different areas of the world to appeal to more groups of people. Plant upgrades, we did an equipment boost and on every plant we owned, and then reject rate in Asia, Africa, and I think that helped a lot. Some weaknesses we had were stockouts. To towards the very end where we ran out of shoes basically to sell. There was a higher demand. Another weakness was SQ rating, but that was kind of part of our plan in general. We brought it down to a 4-star pretty much towards the second half of the game. We did not offer free shipping, which lowered our costs, but I think that might have affected how many people bought our shoes. Going back to private label, we lost money on some contracts towards the end, and our number of models, which kind of is on our strengths too, but we weren't able to offer a lot of different models because we were a cost leader. Some opportunities on pairs sold. Sometimes we completely took over and were able to sell more than pretty much every other company. So I think that in the years where we didn't, there were some missed opportunities, but overall I think it was pretty good. Also, stock repurchase. We dabbled in it at the very end, and that helped us be really successful towards the end, but that was an opportunity we could have pursued earlier on, I think. Some threats is there was competitive pricing. Team A undercut us one time really badly and affected us because they had a higher SQ rating, they were able to sell more. Also, we had some tariffs in Europe and Africa, but we ended up investing in a plant there, so that got rid of that. Our core competencies were, since we were low cost, were facility upgrades, control over production, minimize product expenses like superior materials, enhanced features, TQM, etc. Our general environment, we didn't necessarily have a specific demographic, but since we were a cost leader, we wanted to focus on, I guess, just people that would buy cheap shoes. So that kind of ties into economic also, just because they didn't have to pay very much within the economy, but we were able to sell a lot of shoes on top of that. Globally, we wanted to appeal to, everyone within the global market. So that's why we invested in so many celebrities. Our industry environment and competitive environment kind of tie together. Within the industry, the rivalry was pretty intense, and for the most part, all of the cost leaders were really successful. But so within our competitive market, other cost leaders teams were the competitive environment, and it was interesting to see how different the strategies were. A little bit different, and it kind of worked out for everybody. So here is the value chain analysis within inbound logistics was the first one, and our plant capacity and plant expansion were important. We increased capacity and increased a whole new plant. Operations, our order fulfillment, I think we forecasted pretty good for the majority of the time, so we were able to produce the right amount, and our product quality was a little low, but we did that on purpose. Outbound logistics, our order fulfillment also kind of ties in with operations. Our order delivery, we put it at the highest delivery so that the turnover in deliveries was not very much, and that helped to minimize costs. Also, inventory management. Anytime we would have excess inventory, we would once we put we put some of our stuff on our clearance, but we were able to invest in those private label also. Marketing and sales, we had our celebrity appeal. We spent a lot of money there, but I think that's one of the things that helped pay us off. And our advertising was relatively high. I think 10,000 was our lowest. Some services, we did the ethics training in the very front on the first page. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but we also had a mail-in rebate of $5, so that falls under that category. For secondary activities, our procurement, Our superior materials were lower. We didn't want to invest in them, especially because once the game went on, it was apparent how expensive superior materials were. Our number of models invested in a lower number of models overall, like I said earlier, and our enhanced styling, we try to put that lower also to not spend as much money on our shoes. Technology, our plan upgrades, like I said, with the SWOT analysis, the SQ boost, and reject rate within the specific upgrades, and our energy efficiency from the first page, where we invested in kind of the environment and efficiency overall, which I think falls under technology. Within HR, we had ethics training. We invested in ethics training, and our incentive pay was fairly high for employees so that our reject rates weren't low. And lastly, firm infrastructure. Our forecasting, I think, was pretty good overall. We did have some stock outs, and we did have some excess inventory, but we were pretty much on track the whole time. And one thing we really focused on was investment, and anytime we would have excess cash at the end of the year, we would find some way to improve and make sure that we would be better for the next year. I also thought Porter's 5 forces would be something important to mention. We were constantly debating on how the market would change year to year based on power between buyers and both suppliers. Would materials cost more or less, quote-unquote, superior materials, and would we be able to sell our shoes to make a higher profit, or would our power be limited? The threat of new entrants within BSG was somewhat limited because we all started the game at the same time. However, if one of the teams decided to change their strategy, this would be appropriate for us to discuss. The threat of substitute products or services was also a force that wasn't really all that applicable. Everyone within the game ran a shoe company, but some substitute products in general of the markets would include sandals or maybe boots of specialty types. Lastly, the middle force, rivalry among existing competitors, was probably the most applicable. Most groups stuck with their initial strategy and didn't change them much, so competition and rivalry was very prominent. For us, there are around, I'd say, 3 to 4 cost leader groups that we had to compete with in many different categories, like low cost, private label, and SQ rating.
Hi, I'm Ming Xian, and I'm going to introduce the financial analysis of our Glory Footwear. We separate the analysis into 3 parts. The first one is 5 game performance measures. The second one is cost breakdown, and the third one is 3 financial ratios. From the chart of earning per share, we can see that investor expectation increased overall. At the beginning, Glory's earning per share is very close to industry average, but in year 15 and 16, because our group changed some strategies, the trend moved to opposite direction from 2 competitor companies, D and E. Investor expectation of return on equity is 15% constantly. In year 12 and year 14, 3 companies had closed ROE, but in year 11, 13, 15, and 16, numbers are discrete. Especially in year 13, all of the companies improved net income because the ROEs, including average ROE, are higher than investor expected, and the company E's ratio is extraordinarily high. Image rating floated obviously for every company. The expectation keeps at 70. Company D did a really good job because its rating usually higher than expectation and the industry average. Company E's rating dropped in the middle years, but at last it reached the expectation. Our Glory Footwear didn't control the rating very well. The score dropped continuously. Year 13 is also an impressive time for stock price. Except beginning 2 years, all companies have better results than investor expectation in later years. From the table of credit rating, we can see that Company D has the most stable rating. Company E's rating dropped in year 12, but after that, the rating grew to A+ and hold to the end. Our Glory Footwear is improving year by year, which confirms industry average, and the investor acceptation keeps at B+. I record year 11, 14, and 16's breakdown of cost. From the industry report, page 6. Our group compares Glory's cost to the industry lowest cost. From those numbers, we can know that our company is exactly the lowest in the industry, which can fulfill our cost leadership strategy. From the pie chart of total cost, we can find out that our cost of pairs sold is lower each year. However, it is still the biggest portion in the total cost, which makes sense. The marketing expense increased fast in the later year because we know it can boost market share expansion. The administrative expenses didn't change very much until the end. Our group chooses 3 ratios to see our profitability, operation, and credit rating performance. From the chart of net profit margin, we know that from year 11 to 14, Company D, E, G, and industry average are moving towards same direction. But in year 15, Company E decreased to the lowest rate, and our company increased to the highest. Lower cost of pairs sold as a percentage of net revenues means that a bigger percentage of the revenue received from footwear sales is available to cover delivery, marketing, administrative, and interest costs. All of the company gradually lowered this rate during the play. Same as the last ratio, debt to asset ratio is also the lower the better. Most of the companies are trying to decrease it, and in the last year, all of the companies need to pay off their loans. Thus, year 16's ratio is lower than year 15's. Company D's ratio increased after year 13, so we guess they borrowed a huge amount of money at that time. Now I will pass to Yuan Yuan to introduce more about our strategies.
Thank you, Mingxian. Hello, everyone. My name is Shi Yuanyuan. Now I will continue to introduce our company's strategy, includes business strategy, private label strategy, and international approach. The Glory Footwear Company will employ a global low-cost leadership strategy and pursue a competitive advantage key to having lower costs and selling both branded and private label footwear at a low price relative to rivals. Our strategy did change over time. At the beginning, we planned to produce high SQ rating shoes and sell at an average and reasonable price to gain more market share. In this case, we upgrade option C, which is equipment upgrade to boost SQ rating by 1 star in all the 3 plants in North America, Europe, Africa, and Asia Pacific. But we realized all the team were doing high skill rating strategy. We thought many customers are seeking lowest cost option, so we decided to innovate on cost-saving areas such as plant upgrades, decrease the number of models in order to transfer saving to customers. That means we cut costs so customers do not have to. Finally, we decided to employ a low-cost, low-SQ rating and low-price strategy. I think our strategy will gain more market share in the future. Reviewing the past 6 years market snapshot, our company usually has 1% to 2% higher than industry average in both internet and wholesale segments. We did participate in private label market. The first reason is we have more capacity in our time. We want to use them all because once we have plant or we need to use our time to produce our product, we will have fixed cost related to our plants and our time production. We do not want to waste this capacity because we do not count on the private label markets to gain more profits for us. In the case, we use all the left capacity and produce private label product to at least earn the cost of the plant. Another thing is we changed our target private label market at the time. We found that the offer is more than demand in the certain market. Our strategy followed the transnational approach, which is an integrated strategy emphasizing both global integration and local responsiveness. The global integration means we sell the same quantity, SQ rating, and number of models production in all the 4 regions. However, the local responsiveness means we would set our production price, advertising budget, rebate offer, retail support, deliver time, and celebrate appeal differently in all the 4 regions. Depends on the industry average in all the 4 regions. For example, we provide customers 4-star SQ rating shoes and 100 models in each region, but we set our per pair price around $35 to $39 in Asia Pacific and Latin America. We also set around $41 to $43 per pair in North America and Europe Africa. In the end, our group leader will give conclusion and talk about what did we learn from this BSG.
It's Kelsey again, and to conclude our presentation today, I'm going to present to you some of the lessons that we learned within the business strategy game. We learned a lot playing the business strategy game, but here are some of the standouts. Overall, we learned all the aspects it takes to run a company, from marketing to operations to services. And we learned how those interrelated and how the different effects in the market change these, and how what your competitors do can change the decisions that you make. We also learned that investing early in the future can help out a lot and really give you an edge over competitors who may have hesitated to do so. We learned a lot about financing and debt and stocks in this game. We learned that stock repurchase in a successful company can be a game changer, and that debt, when leveraged properly, can really help a company expand, allowing us to invest in things like plant operations or building a new plant or investing in a really high-profile celebrity or something like that. Although we were pleased with our ending performance scores, we feel there are some things we could have done differently to have improved our score even more, especially compared to our competition. There were some years when we had some excess cash that we feel could have gone towards stock repurchases to improve our earnings per share. We feel like we underutilized the stock repurchase in some years. Another thing we would have done differently is we would have constructed our Europe-Africa plant earlier to avoid those early years of extremely high tariffs we had distributing to this region. If we had built the plant earlier, we also could have expanded it, would have had more chance to expand it later on in the game. Towards the end of the game, we had to pull out of private label a little more than we wanted to, because we had to use full capacity plus overtime at all of our plants in order to meet our demand for branded sales. So if we had constructed the Europe-Africa plant earlier, we could have avoided those tariffs, added onto it, and been able to participate in the private label more fully in later years. We also should have invested more heavily in corporate social responsibility. It was part of our low-cost strategy to forego this option, but we didn't take into account that because we were pursuing a low-cost strategy with a low SQ rating, that our image rating would suffer because of this low SQ rating. So we should have invested a little bit more in corporate social responsibility to offset the negative effects that our SQ rating within our strategy had on our image rating. That concludes Glory Footwear's final presentation for the business strategy game. We welcome your questions to come, and thank you for watching.